You know that feeling when your heart starts racing out of nowhere and there's no logical reason for it? You're just sitting there watching TV or lying in bed and suddenly your chest tightens. Your heart pounds so hard you can feel it in your throat, and this wave of anxiety crashes over you like you're about to have a panic attack. So you go to your doctor, they run an EKG, maybe some blood work, and they tell you everything looks normal. They might hand you a prescription for an SSRI or a benzodiazepine and send you on your way. But here's what they didn't tell you. That racing heart, those anxiety attacks, that feeling like you're crawling out of your skin, it's not in your head. It's a deficiency. And the mineral you're missing is magnesium. And you need to watch this full video because the solution isn't another prescription that numbs your nervous system. It's a protocol that addresses the root cause of why your cells are starving for this critical mineral in the first place. Let me explain something that will fundamentally change how you think about anxiety. When most people hear the word magnesium, they think about muscle cramps, maybe constipation, but magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body. And the two systems that suffer first when you're deficient are your nervous system and your cardiovascular system. Here's why. Magnesium is what we call nature's calcium blocker. Inside every single cell in your body, there's a delicate balance between calcium and magnesium. Calcium excites your cells. It triggers muscle contractions. It activates your stress response. Magnesium does the opposite. It calms your cells down. It relaxes your muscle. It tells your nervous system it's safe. But when you're magnesium deficient, calcium floods into your cells unchecked. And this is where the heart palpitations start. Your heart is a muscle, and it needs magnesium to maintain a steady rhythm. When calcium dominates, your heart cells become hyperexcitable. They start firing erratically. You get those skipped beats, that fluttering sensation, that pounding that makes you think something is seriously wrong. And here's the kicker. This same calcium-magnesium imbalance is happening in your brain. Your neurons, the cells that control your thoughts and emotions, they rely on magnesium to regulate the release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Without enough magnesium, your brain gets stuck in fight or flight mode. Your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, becomes overactive. You feel anxious for no reason. You're irritable. You can't sleep. And you start to think you're losing your mind, but you're not. You're just deficient. Now, before you run out and buy a bottle of magnesium from the pharmacy, we need to talk about why you're deficient in the first place. Because this isn't just about taking a supplement. If you don't understand the root cause, you're going to stay stuck in this cycle. There are three main reasons why magnesium deficiency has become an epidemic. Number one, soil depletion. The food we eat today contains a fraction of the magnesium it did 50 years ago. Modern industrial farming has stripped our soil of essential minerals. Even if you're eating leafy greens and nuts, you're not getting the magnesium density your grandparents got from the same foods. The soil is dead, and so are the nutrients. Number two, chronic stress. Every time you experience stress, whether it's from work, relationships, or just scrolling through social media, your body burns through magnesium like fuel. Stress triggers the release of cortisol and adrenaline, and both of these hormones deplete magnesium. So the more stressed you are, the more magnesium you lose and the more anxious you become. It's a vicious cycle. And number three, gut dysfunction. This is the one most doctors miss. You can eat all the magnesium-rich foods in the world, but if your gut isn't absorbing it, you're still going to be deficient. And here's what damages magnesium absorption: low stomach acid, leaky gut, dysbiosis, and chronic use of medications like proton pump inhibitors or antibiotics. If you've been told you have IBS or SIBO, there's a very high chance you are not absorbing magnesium properly. By the way, if you are tired of being told your labs are normal when you know something is wrong, hit that subscribe button. We are building a community that demands real answers, and I want you to be part of it. Now let's talk about testing. Here's the problem with conventional magnesium testing. Your doctor will run a serum magnesium test, which measures the magnesium in your blood, and it will almost always come back normal, even when you're severely deficient. Why? Because only 1% of your body's magnesium is in your blood. The other 99% is inside your cells, in your bones, in your muscles, and in your brain. Your body will rob magnesium from your tissues to keep your blood levels stable, because if your blood magnesium drops too low, your heart stops. So by the time your serum magnesium is low, you're in critical danger. This is why I always recommend an RBC magnesium test, red blood cell magnesium. This test measures the magnesium inside your cells, and it's a far more accurate reflection of your true magnesium status. If you've been struggling with anxiety and heart palpitations, and your doctor only ran a serum test, you need to demand an RBC magnesium test. But let's say you get tested and your levels are low, or maybe you don't want to wait for a test and you just want to start addressing this now. Let's talk about the protocol. Not all magnesium supplements are created equal. Walk into any pharmacy and you'll see magnesium oxide on the shelf. It's cheap, it's everywhere, and it's one of the worst forms you can take. Magnesium oxide has a bioavailability of less than 4%, which means your body barely absorbs it. Most of it just pulls water into your colon and gives you diarrhea. Here are the forms that actually work. Magnesium glycinate. This is my #1 recommendation for anxiety and sleep. Glycine is a calming amino acid, and when it's bound to magnesium, it crosses the blood-brain barrier and directly calms your nervous system. If you're dealing with racing thoughts, irritability, or insomnia, this is your form. Magnesium threonate. This is the only form that has been shown to significantly increase magnesium levels in the brain. If your anxiety is severe, or if you're dealing with brain fog and cognitive issues on top of your anxiety, magnesium threonate is a game changer. Magnesium taurate. This is the form I recommend for heart palpitations specifically. Taurine supports cardiovascular function, and when combined with magnesium, it helps regulate heart rhythm and reduce arrhythmias. And if you're dealing with muscle cramps or constipation on top of everything else, you can add magnesium citrate, which supports bowel motility and muscle relaxation. Now, dosing. Most people need between 300 and 500 milligrams of elemental magnesium per day. But if you've been deficient for a long time, or if you're under chronic stress, you might need more. I typically start patients at 400 milligrams at night because magnesium is calming and can help you sleep. But here's the thing. Magnesium works better when it's not alone. Magnesium doesn't work in isolation. It needs cofactors to be absorbed and utilized properly. The two most important cofactors are vitamin D and vitamin B6. Vitamin D helps your gut absorb magnesium, and B6 helps magnesium get inside your cells. If you're deficient in either of these, you won't get the full benefit of magnesium supplementation. This is why I always recommend running a vitamin D test and considering a high-quality B complex alongside your magnesium. And one more thing, if you're dealing with gut issues, you need to address those first. Because if you have leaky gut or SIBO, you can take all the magnesium in the world and still not absorb it. Healing your gut lining, restoring your stomach acid, and rebalancing your microbiome. These are foundational steps that will make everything else work better. Let me tell you what happens when you get this right. Within a few days to a week, most people notice their sleep improves. You fall asleep faster, you stay asleep longer, and you wake up feeling more rested. Within 2 to 3 weeks, the heart palpitations start to calm down. That racing heart, those skip beats, they become less frequent and less intense. And within 4 to 6 weeks, the anxiety starts to lift. You notice you're not as reactive. You're not spiraling into panic over small things, and you start to feel like yourself again. But here's what's important to understand. This isn't a quick fix. Magnesium deficiency doesn't develop overnight, and it doesn't resolve overnight. You need to be consistent. You need to address the root causes, the stress, the gut dysfunction, the nutrient depleted food, and you need to give your body time to replenish its stores. If this resonates with you, don't guess with your health. Click the link below to book a discovery call with my team. We'll run the right labs, we'll identify your specific deficiencies, and we'll create a personalized protocol to get you back to feeling like yourself again. Or if you suspect your gut is the reason you aren't absorbing your nutrients in the first place, watch this video next where I break down 7 health foods that are actually destroying your microbiome. Your anxiety is not a Prozac deficiency. Your heart palpitations are not a beta blocker deficiency. They are a magnesium deficiency. And now you know what to do about it.